We are now being joined by former Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, Dr. S.P. Vaid. Dr. Vaid, first of all, many thanks for speaking to India today. Sir, we understand, the situation right now in the Kashmir Valley is very sensitive. Targeted killings have taken place, and now the government has also taken note of it. A high-level security meeting is currently on at the MHA. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is himself chairing the meeting. Sir, what is your, assessment of the situation? I mean, what is the way out, given the, the recent spate of killings that have taken place in the Kashmir Valley?
See, the review at highest level, at the level of Honorable Home Minister, is generally done at different intervals, and it must be one of that review. General security situation in the valley and overall about the Jammu and Kashmir. But I think the targeted killings need to be handled carefully because we have to first thing is we have to neutralize people who are operating on the instructions of people from across. So all such modules which are operating need to be identified and neutralized. That is first step. Then the other thing is we must also see uh, who could be vulnerable, like Kashmiri Pandits, where all the Kashmiri Pandit migrants are posted as employees in different parts of Kashmir Valley. How many of them have secure accommodation? How many of them are in rented buildings? Those who do not have secure accommodation need to be accommodated in secure places. Those who are posted in remote areas like Rahul, what was posted in Chadura Tehsil, I think it is better if they're posted in district headquarters or in places where there is a protection. There are thousands of offices across the country, sorry, across the valley, which all are not protected. So, if some Kashmiri Pandit employee under PM's package of employment is working in a office which is not protected, you are making him vulnerable. He can be targeted. So that has to be ensured. How are they going to office? That is a very important. What is the mode of their transport? They can be targeted in the route, so that also needs to be taken care of. Then many other see the initiative is always in the hands of uh, terrorists and their handlers across. Who are they going to target? This time it may be Kashmiri Pandits, next time it could be laborers who are working from outside.
Laborers have been targeted in the recent past.
Yes, they have been targeted. Actually, the after suffering a lot of losses in terms of men, in terms of weapons, the ISI handlers across deep state has actually switched over to this hybrid warfare, the targeted killing of civilians, soft targets, only with the intention to create scare, to counter the narrative that things are returning to peace, normalcy is returning. So it is with that intention. And the other thing is, if you are targeting labor, you are targeting the Prime Minister's and Government of India's program to to transform Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir by way of development. If labor runs away, if there is a scare in the labor, so development projects come to halt. So that is one intention. There was effort from the government of India as things were improving after 370 that Kashmiri Pandit migrants could be taken to valley and resettled there. So by resorting to these killings, you are countering these measures of the government and overall security situation so that the narrative is countered that things have improved.
Dr. Vaid, you talked about, the vulnerable sections of the society in the Kashmir Valley, and you said that the Kashmiri Pandit government employees who are serving in the valley, under the Prime Minister's special package. They are one of the most vulnerable, sections of the society in the Kashmir Valley right now. And we have seen that they have been targeted. Recently Rahul Bhatt was killed in broad daylight inside his office. Sir, in the recent past, if you remember, you had also, given a suggestion that, that like in early 90s, village defense committees were formed in certain areas of Jammu region which were hit by terrorism. So you said that if Kashmiri Pandits have to survive in the valley, they have to be armed, they have to be trained, and other sections of the society, it could be moderate Muslims also, it could be other Muslims also who are feeling threatened, that they should be armed, they should be given self-defense training so that in case there is any attack, they are able to, repel it.
I still hold that view. I think people like this, not only Kashmiri Pandit migrants, even uh, all those from the majority community, Muslim community, who are pro India, who feel vulnerable, who are threatened, moderate people who stand for India, stand for peace in Kashmir, they are also targeted and killed by saying they are Mukwer. I think all such people need to be identified. And in Jammu region, we had successfully, by raising village defense committees, we had countered this move of ethnic cleansing in the hills of Jammu region. I think that is required in Kashmir Valley, a sort of, maybe in a modified form of village defense committees, it could be thought of. The other sections who are vulnerable are like BJP sarpanches and panches, because the
Punches in general also.
sarpanches in general, because they are seen as a push by government of India of establishing grassroots democracy. So Pakistan is for Pakistan it is anathema. So they would not like this grassroots democracy to take roots. So they would target them. So panchis and sarpanchis, BJP party workers, they are also targeted. So they have been killed earlier also, and they all such sections like JNK policemen are being targeted. Now these are different categories of people who are being targeted.
Kashmiri, army personnel who belong to the Kashmiri Muslim community, when they, come on leave, they come to home on leave, they are also targeted.
Yes, Kashmiri Muslim majority population, policemen, paramilitary forces, CRPF, and army employees who go on leave also are also targeted. I think it is a sort of I think a view needs to be taken how to protect all of them.
So what you are trying to say is that people, who are living in valley and who are being seen as, siding with India, who are being seen, siding with the democracy, they are being targeted. And since Kashmiri Pandits are Hindus, they are a minuscule minority. They are, in a way, they are being targeted because of their faith.
Yes, absolutely. But only one thing caution I would like here, that you should, whenever this step is taken, you should ensure that weapons do not go in the hands of terrorists. So that has to be seen how this scheme has to be implemented. That needs care has to be taken that these weapons don't go in the hands of terrorists.
But Dr. Vaid, you say that that this is an idea which should be implemented, that the Kashmiri Pandit community, in particular, who are feeling threatened right now and who are feeling vulnerable, they should be given arms, they should be given training so that, they are able to defend themselves if they are attacked.
Yes, by and large, I think more thinking needs to go into this. And before this scheme is implemented, let all aspects be seen and then implemented. But by and large, I see no harm in doing this.
Sir, in the recent days, we have seen that the Kashmiri Pandit government employees who are serving in the valley, they are saying that they should be transferred to Jammu because their sense of security has been snatched, as it happened during early 90s. They are saying that they are not safe. I mean, atmosphere is not conducive for their survival now. They want that either they should be armed or they should be sent to Jammu and adjusted in Jammu. So, I mean, is this option, do you think that it's practical and it can be implemented?
I understand their concern, but let me mention here, this is what terrorists want. This is what ISI handlers across want.
They don't want presence of Hindus in the Kashmir Valley.
They don't want composite culture in Kashmir Valley. So I think we will fall in their trap. Government will take a holistic view. I think before taking any decision, I think all aspects will be seen, because this is then you are playing at the hands of terrorists and their handlers.
So you feel the better option is to arm the Kashmiri Pandits?
I think, and all those measures need to be taken which ensures security of Kashmiri Pandits and all such vulnerable sections belonging to majority community who are vulnerable, who could be targeted by terrorists, and all measures which ensures a sense of security in all of them. Those measures must be taken.
Dr. Vaid, my last question to you. You must have gone through the recent statement of National Conference President Dr. Farooq Abdullah, as well as PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti. Both of them have said that the Kashmir Files movie is responsible for the recent spate of killings of the minority communities in the Kashmir Valley. But Dr. Vaid, killings of Kashmiri Pandits have taken place even before the release of the movie. In the recent past, also, if we see, Mr. Bindru, Makhanlal Bindru was killed, Ajay Pandita, Rakesh Pandita. So many killings have taken place. So don't you think that this is a bizarre kind of logic that is being presented by these politicians?
These are big political leaders making such statements. I think the country knows the truth. I would not like to enter into political arena and make any statement, but I think, as you rightly said, even before Kashmir Files, the killing of Kashmiri Pandits and all other vulnerable sections were taking place. With whether Kashmir File movie is there or not, the ISI will continue with its game plan, and I think both of them have been my chief minister. They understand it better than I do.
Many thanks for speaking to India Today.
Thank you.
So that was Dr. S.P. Vaid, former Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police. So clearly he's saying that given the recent, given the recent killings that have taken place in the Kashmir Valley, the government must come up with new measures so as to, infuse sense of security among the vulnerable sections of the society in the Kashmir Valley, particularly among the Kashmiri Pandits. And one of the measures he is suggesting is that the government must follow the model that was, implemented in 90s in certain parts of Jammu region which were hit by terrorism. He's saying that village defense committees can be constituted, and people who are feeling vulnerable, they should be armed so that they can defend themselves in case they are attacked by terrorists. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.